When it comes to week 12, what I also noticed from a real life standpoint, other than fantasy, was like the Ravens came out and did Ravens things. Like they came out and they didn't exactly dominate the Chargers, but they looked good enough to be like, all right, like we can still take this team seriously. Like, not that the Chargers were a pushover, but it was a decent test for them. Um, and then we'll get to like other injuries, other things that are coming up for your waiver wires and stuff. But yeah, like in terms of what we noticed from week 12, there's still some things that are crystallizing for the NFL as a landscape. Noticing that like, Miami's trying to find their way into the playoffs, finding ways to lose games right now. The Commanders, what I'm saying, losing at an upset fashion to Dallas in a wacky game. 41 points in that fourth quarter for that game. That was crazy.
Yeah.
And then, the Eagles looking dominant against I would say a well-polished Rams team because they came into the game pretty decent across the board. Eagles, like, just purely dominating the Rams in most facets of this game. This was literally like a 37-13 game until Cooper Kupp scored that late touchdown. So just like kudos to this Eagles staff. Like we talked about before the game, like on Sunday, I don't understand why everybody keeps on saying that the Eagles are this, the Eagles are that, whatever. But they're now winners of, how many games now? 8 straight games, 7 games, something like that.
I think
7 games now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of wild when you think about it. But I think there's definitely some things from fantasy we'll talk about that we definitely notice as well. But those are just some of the things in general that you got to start thinking about when it comes to certain teams. When we think about them making the playoffs, also affects our fantasy football playoffs.